way up the Mount Sunday track here and trying to get up to the helipad here. It's late in the afternoon. It's probably not the ideal time to start off here. It's very, very overcast, which I don't know which is going to be picked up on the camera, but it definitely is. Got mist in the top of the mountains and the ground's quite wet. Welcome back to EXPLORE-OVERLAND, and this series is going to be an epic 4-day journey I've done from Mount Sunday here that you can see got caught in the snow, or woke up to snow first thing in the morning, and then headed across to Lacola, then up to Arbuckle Junction and down to Moroka. And then we, because the swag was wet from getting caught out here in the snow, I ended up doing Billy Goat's Bluff track at night, heading down, and it was covered in snow at the top in the steep section here, and went down to the Wanangata River and built a decent fire to dry out the swag to try and sleep that night. But spectacular views of Billy Goat's. I've captured it with the drone on the way up, and it's also at night. And this is Orton's track out the other side of Dargo, and this is Harrison's Cutting. And then from here we went up into Upper Dargo, up to the Blue Rag, and then down to the river right at the other end of Blue Rag track for lunch. And then from there back out around to Bright and home. Only to get a phone call not 5 minutes after I got home. A couple of people were stuck out at Talangi, and the vehicle was broken, and the other one was up against the tree, and then had to go down and rescue them. So it was a wild 4 days. But you really wouldn't have it any other way. It was just such a great adventure. Really enjoyed the whole lot of it. There was a heap of self-recovery in it, especially when I dropped off from Mount Sunday and went down into the Barkley River Valley. Anyone familiar with that valley there knows that there's very, very few rocks in the tracks there. It's got a really good covering of topsoil, and because it was snow and sleet for the last 24 hours, 48 hours there, it was just crazy slippery in there. Sliding down into water rushes down the tracks to try and stay on the track and not go over the side, and then winching and trying to recover up the other side. It was just mental because it's just so slippery, that clay top in that valley there. Most of the high country it's got a really good rocky base, and you never really struggle too much, even if it's pouring rain. But that valley there is the last place you want to be when it's been raining the way it has. But I had no choice. I was tipping that if the snow was as bad as what it was at the junction at Mount Sunday, where it goes onto the Barkley River Logging Road, which goes down into the Barkley River Valley, or up to the Barkley River track on Mount Skeen, that it was going to be a lot thicker going up than it was going down. And I was without chains or anything like that, because it's very, very early. It's not even in season. You do get snow. It's not unusual to see snow at this time of year up there, but not the dump that was on this week that I was out there. Even the locals were quite surprised by how much it was a month out. But just how widespread it was. It really did go from the Jamison side of Mount Skeen all the way across to Dargo. It was a huge dump, and like I've been, we used to chase the snow for the kids, and that for a couple of decades, and I've seen a lot of snow, and it was very unusual to drive snow for those sort of distances, 50, 100 kilometres, and still be in snow. Simply because one of them is, it snowed early, and the other one being the tracks are normally closed when there's that much snow up there. So it was quite unique. I really enjoyed it. The other great part is the theme of what I do with EXPLORE-OVERLAND is the car was just, minimum. I didn't have all the gear, and we were running on the Bridgestone all-terrains. Now, I did take them off and I put the Michelin XZLs on because I expected trouble, and not the snow on that, but I did expect it to be quite wet out there, and I put the decent aggressive tyres on for it. And I thought to myself, you know what, I've been running these things, they've been absolutely fantastic through summer and all that. I'll give them a crack out here and see how they go in the winter. And you know, most people have done a lot of four-wheel drive and realise that when it comes to really muddy tracks and that, it makes very little difference unless you tear ass in the track and destroying the car, having aggressive tyres or not so aggressive tyres on, you know, when it's really, really wet. So I put them on and give them a crack, and they perform faultlessly for what they are. It's just ridiculous where I got this car. You wouldn't dream of it. It's the same thing. It's just that car, you know, had that 100-inch wheelbase, very, very capable vehicle, didn't need all the gear, and just had a great adventure for very, very little money. Okay, I'm not 100% sure whether this is the actual track here. I know that's still Mount Sunday Road, but I think we're heading up there. Tyres are down to 18 already. And I might leave them at that for the minute. And we'll see how gnarly it gets up there. Okay, I'll turn that heater down a bit. It's freezing cold up here. Really big chill in the air. I'm not going to put the drone up at the moment because, as you can see out there, that's crash central out there for the drone. So we'll head out with the camera and see what's up here. Now, I'm not exactly sure what they call this track. I don't know whether it's called Mount Sunday Track or not. I have driven it years ago, maybe 15 years ago. I think the last time I'd done it might have been in my short wheelbase Defender 90. It was a long time ago anyway. And the top section just hasn't changed at all. It just looks like the day I last drove it. Okay, that's a bit steep coming up that. Very greasy. I'm just on these breachy all-terrains at the moment, which are pretty road biased. I keep going on about. It's always interesting heading straight uphill into the mist. We might have to camp out here tonight. We'll see what goes on. It'd be nice to have a bit more light. Okay, what's going on up there? Okay, that's going to be a bit more momentum. This track is also the Australian Alps walking track the whole way along. I might actually head out this outside here. Try not to rip it up at the moment. This is actually a steep climb up to the helipad. It's very hard to pick up because of the mist in the background as well. But we're definitely heading uphill here. And it's very, very skatey, especially on these rock shoals. They're a bit like having ice skates on, being on there. They got even worse further down the track because there was so much mud on the track because of the way the weather had been the last 48 hours up here. So you were actually taking the mud up onto rocks that were already slippery. So it was very treacherous. It was a good drive. It was interesting. Just, kept you thinking the whole way. Now on my Unitracks, which I checked there before, saying this first section's black and then it goes to red when we're at the summit of Mount Sunday. So it's very eaten away here in the erosion. Actually going to pull over when we get to the summit because I'll have a feed before we start attacking the actual track itself. It's a pretty good grip on those greasy rocks back there, which I'm happy about. I was just swinging the camera around here so you can get a bit of an idea of how steep this is here. There's definitely no putting the drone up at the moment, that's for sure. I might have to find a glove for that hand out the window. I don't think I bought any gloves. Bugger. I don't think I did. Okay, I think this is the helipad. Can't see anything off here. Okay, we've got a sign, look at that. Oh, it just says it all. It's definitely going to get interesting on a day like today, that is for sure. Especially when you can't see to get a run. Alright, let's put this around somewhere where I'm out of the wind. Okay, it's 3 o'clock. I'm definitely going to kick off. We'll see how far we get. If you've got a shiny brand new four-wheel drive, this is probably one of the last places you want to be. Very, very thick, overgrown, pushing down the side of the car all the time, and a lot of the branches are pretty thick. It's been overgrown a while, so there's a lot of pressure on going down the side of the car as well. This is either the Alps or the McMillan's walking track. I'll check again later. I've got to check what the name of this Jackson track is. It does have a name, I think. You can see a bit more down here, which I'm pretty happy about. The big pain in the neck is driving something like that, or something like this that's steep and that's gnarly, is that if it's misty and you can't see up in front, you know, you drive all the way to something that you're going to have to reverse off, which is not ideal in these conditions. Rather than be able to see it from ages back. The good part about these holes, they won't be they'll be hard on the bottom. Suspension's working really nicely at the moment. That leaned over a bit more than I thought through there. This is a pretty good idea of what the terrain's like in this first section of the track. It's up and down following the ridgeline, and there's some steep pinches up and down. But the growth is very much like this. You can see that it's short and spindly, and it's in the snow line most of the winter, and that's why all these trees are stunted and small. And it's one of those tracks that I just cannot believe it's not closed. I'm very happy it's not closed, but you know, that any excuse is all they need to close it. And I did find rubbish along it, which I picked up. Very happy about that mist clearing at the moment anyway. I better not speak too soon. It's very hard to pick up on the camera here just how deep some of the terrain is here, the drop-offs into it and that. We're only running 31s on this, and we're having some clearance issues with the axles. You could hear that diff housing going bang then. I'm expecting some big sections here where it's really going to be ripped up, and it's going to be hard going for the disco with the small tyres on it. We'll see how we go. Sure how this is going to come up in the camera, but we're definitely heading off the side of the mountain here, so we're heading downhill. Bugger. You absolutely can't see what's going on here with the camera. This is leaning right off to the driver's side here. So I'm just trying to go a little bit easy because the mud's coming up on the rocks and it's getting slippery. This is off angle, and I just pulled that water that you can see running down there out of that puddle. I should be able to pick up some of the leaning over and how the track undulates through here. Got to be happy that someone cut that one for us. I'm glad that mist moved off because it's a great little track to look at. Now we're climbing up again here. And another. That was a bit serious. Someone had the axe out there. Hopefully we can get a drone up here soon. Okay. That's a bit of steep downhill. So what if it goes up like this on the other side? I'm gonna have to mount that camera. We're getting some decent travelling happening here. I'm not sure which way is the best to go at this track. I don't know how much of up is one way and how much of down's the other. It's definitely quite thick through here, but it's a really nice drive. It's pretty scenic. There's a lot of twists and turns in it, that's for sure. Bigger vehicles are going to find it probably a bit more of a pain. There'll be definitely some 3-point turns in it for some of them, but that's all part of the entertainment. Okay, that's pretty much it for the first video of this series. It's just about to start to get interesting. The sleet and the drizzle's about to set in, and the track conditions are going to get a lot worse very shortly. And hopefully see you coming back for the next video. The next one's definitely worth tuning in for.